What is up, comic book fans, readers, collectors, cover lovers? Everyone is welcome here at Nerdy Geeks Comics, no matter how you collect. Today is Wednesday, May the 27th, 2026. So you know what that means. It is New Comic Book Day. Happy New Comic Book Day. I hope you found everything you're looking for. This was a big New Comic Book Day for me. As much as I've been telling y'all how I've been trying to cut back on my FOC books, still haven't gotten there yet. It'll be about 2 more weeks until the numbers really start to drop. This week was a really big haul for me, so this one hurt in the pocket a little bit. Sorry I haven't been here the last 2 weeks. Just got busy with the end of the school. My daughter was missing a few days of school. We had a lot going on, so I apologize for not getting out my New Comic Book Day haul the last 2 weeks. Hopefully this haul makes up for it. A lot of good books, a lot of great covers. Let's get to my haul. All right, so to start us off, we have Absolute Wonder Woman. This is issue number 20. This is cover A by Hayden Sherman. I am looking forward to getting into this book. I am caught up on all of the big three. I'm caught up on the big three on all the Absolute books. And then I'm maybe 2 issues behind on Green Lantern. And I did really like Green Arrow number 1. So if you haven't read it yet, which I don't know how you haven't, because it feels like everybody in the comic book world picked up a copy of that, outselling Absolute Batman number 1, which is insane. Had a lot to live up to for the hype, but it was great. But looking forward to reading Absolute Wonder Woman number 20. But I also picked up the Terry Dodson cover. This is cover B, a really nice Terry Dodson cover right here. And I also picked up cover C, which is the Carl Kershaw variant. I believe that's how you say his name. A really nice cover right there of Absolute Wonder Woman. Up next, I have The Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Versity. This is issue number 2, and we have another fantastic Magic the Gathering cover. This cover was done by Justina Dura. A really fantastic cover. I am loving all of these Magic the Gathering covers. It is going to hurt because I am going to end up picking up every single one of these. They are awesome. All right, next up we have Batman issue number 163, and this is the fantastic cover done by Gabriel Dell'Otto. A really beautiful cover. We have Harley in her original costume. You have our insane looking Joker right there. This is a fantastic cover by Gabriel Dell'Otto. I am glad I was able to pick up a few of these copies. Beautiful cover. All right, here I have Capes, issue number 7. This is cover F by Corey Walker. A really fantastic cover. And I believe this is not the first cover appearance, but I believe this is the first in-story appearance of this character. I am not reading Capes. I do pick up some of these. I will end up reading it because I have been picking them up. It's just not on the top of my reading list right now, but I believe that's the character Elemental, and this is her first in-story appearance. So really happy to have grabbed a copy of this one. Next, I have Club Nephilim. This is issue number 1. I believe this is a one-shot. So this is cover A by Renan Shoddy. This sounds like it could be an interesting book, but it's going to be a one-shot, so I'm not too sure what to expect from the read. But I also picked up cover B. This is the Tim Seeley variant. A really nice cover right there. I also picked up cover C, which is also by Renan Shoddy. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, guys. A really nice cover right here. And then I also picked up the 1 in 10 Andrew Tarasov variant. And I wish I could show you this, guys. This thing is gorgeous. Let me take it out of the bag so y'all can see. Here we go. Check that out. That is a gorgeous cover. You see that? How it's matte in the background, but it's shiny and a little embossed here. Like it does pop out. Really gorgeous cover. This thing looks amazing in hand. Really fantastic cover. I'm really happy I was able to pick this up. Hopefully I can get my hands on a couple more because this is a really beautiful cover right here. Okay, here I have Corpse Night. This is issue number 2. This is cover A by Matthew Roberts. I really loved issue number 1. Hopefully issue number 2 is just as good, if not better, because this was one of the best number 1 issues I've read in a while. It was a fantastic book, and I've been looking forward to reading issue number 2. But I also picked up cover B. This is the cover by Matias Vergara, I believe is how you say that. A really nice cover right there, guys. Check that out. I am definitely looking forward to reading this. This is going to be one of my first 3 or 4 books that I'm going to read today. We've made it to the end of this next series. I remember when issue number 1 came out, I was so excited because that issue was fantastic read, and I thought it would be forever before we got to issue number 13. But here we are at issue number 13, the final issue of Exquisite Corpses. I did not see this ending coming. The 2 characters who are the last 2 in the battle, at least so far, one of them you had a feeling halfway through, but the other one just came out of nowhere. It was a complete shock. Great job to James Tynion and his team for, surprising me and a lot of us on who the final 2 contestants are. It has been a great read. If this issue is even half as good as issue number 12 was, this is going to be a fantastic book. But I did pick up cover A by Michael Walsh. I also picked up the cover C, which is the trading card variant. And so this is the one that comes with the poly bag. It comes with the trading card. I want to say the first 3 books, I pulled a foil on the first 3 books. And then after that, 0, not 1 foil in the next 8 issues until finally today, I got back on the foil list. So I did pick up a foil card on this one. So really happy to have finally gotten another foil card out of this. That's awesome. And then I also picked up the 1 per store variant. It's a little foily right here. You can tell it's a little bit more shiny than the other one. Sorry, I can't give you that great of a look, but a really nice cover right here. And then I also picked up the cover I, which is the Michael Walsh variant. So this is our other final contestant in the series. Really great. This is probably going to be one of the first books, if not the first book that I read today. I feel like number 1 for this next book came out 2 months ago. It feels like it's been a long time. But here we have Firestorm, issue number 2. I did like issue number 1. It wasn't one of the most amazing reads, but it was a really fun read. So I have been looking forward to reading issue number 2. But like I said, issue number 1 feels like months ago. So I might need to give it another skim through before I read this one. Up next, we have The Hab. This is issue number 2. This is cover B by Sarah Summeray. This is the Lost Text variant. Again, this reminds me of those horror games where you're always walking into a room and you find their little journals there and they're writing about everything that happened just before everything went bad. And then I also picked up this cover, which is cover C by David Loftman. And then this next cover is it's an NSFW cover. It's what it's considered, but when you first look at it, it feels very suggestive. But then when you really look at it, you're like, whoa, that's kind of gross. But here we go. This is the 1 in 20 flops variant. So here we have the 1 in 20 flops variant, which again looks very suggestive until you see that there's body parts that are all connected and mouths where there shouldn't be mouths, and it's pretty disgusting. This guy's got an eye growing out of his arm. Really crazy cover by Flops right here. I don't know what Flops was thinking when he drew that one. Okay, this next book, I am not reading it. I have no idea what it's about, but this cover was just gorgeous when I saw it on FOC, so I made sure to pick up a couple of copies. So here we have Honor and Curse Eternal. This is issue number 3. This cover was done by Nick Marinkovic, I believe is how you say that. This is a really beautiful cover, guys. Like when I first saw this, I thought this was a Panosian cover because that is very Panosian-esque, but a really beautiful cover right here. This cover alone, if the artwork looks like this inside, which it rarely does, I would definitely give this a read, but that is just a beautiful cover right here. Up next, I am still picking up Lost Fantasy. So here we have issue number 10, and this is cover E by Iman Winkle. We have Bombshell right here alongside, I don't know, feels like Bombshell's the only character that's really popped out other than Firestorm, jumping down into the mouth or the direction of a T-Rex. Really great action cover right here. Eventually, I will get to reading this series again. I have been picking it up, just not on top of the reading pile. And again, as somebody who has ADHD and is dyslexic, it's not easy for me to keep up with all my books, much less everything I order. Here we have the return of Mark Spears' Monsters. So this is Monsters, issue number 10. This is cover A, a really fantastic Wolfman cover. I love the full moon in the background. It's a really great werewolf cover right here by Mark Spears. I also picked up cover C, which is a Midnight Man. It's a decent cover. I had to make sure that I did order a few of these because I wanted to make sure that I qualified for the 1 in 50. So here I also have cover D, which is the Mummy and one of Dracula's brides, I guess. And then I also picked up, I believe this is cover E, where we have a Dracula who has spent too much time in the sun without enough lotion. So beware, kids. Make sure you wear your sunscreen. And finally, I have the 1 in 50 foil variant of, I believe this is just called the Fangirl cover. She's wearing the Mark Spears cap right there. A really great cover. I think this is limited to like 5260, something like that. It says on the back. So really nice. Really happy to have picked this one up. These are getting harder to get. Back when Mark Spears was just selling out everywhere, it was easy to pick up his 1 in 50s. Now, 1 in 50s are kind of hard to come by. So I was really happy I was able to grab this one. So next up, I have Psylocke Ninja. This is issue number 5. And this is the Gerald Perel cover. A really fantastic cover. When I saw this, I'm like, wow, that's a really nice Psylocke cover. I made sure that I picked this thing up. I did read issue number 1 and 2. It was okay, but it didn't hold my attention. I believe this is the last issue, so I can probably go back and finish the last 3. You know, if it's okay, I'll finish it. If issue 3 really doesn't grab me, I probably won't. But this was a really great cover by Gerald Perel right here. My next book is Rocketeer, The Island. This is issue number 3. This is cover B, which is a Dave Stevens variant. A really beautiful cover, a really great artwork right here by Dave Stevens. I have been picking up the Rocketeer mostly for the Dave Stevens covers, but they have been really fantastic. And I do plan on reading this because I have heard people say they have enjoyed it. So I will read this series. This next book, complete cover buy. I have no plans on reading it. This is just a straight up cover buy. And it's not even because it's fantastic artwork. It's because who's on the cover. Here we have who I call the Queen of Sci-Fi, gracing the cover of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We have Sigourney Weaver, who I did just see this weekend in The Mandalorian and Grogu. I did like it. It wasn't groundbreaking. It's probably not going to be, you know, if you grew up watching Star Wars, the original trilogy, you're probably not going to watch this and have it be one of your favorite Star Wars. But if your kids grew up watching Clone Wars and Rebels and things like that, it's probably going to be a movie that they really like. So, don't trash it. Let your kids enjoy it. They can have their Star Wars. You had yours. I don't think any of us would have liked it if while we were growing up, our parents or people were just saying how trashy Star Wars was and it's nothing but stupid kid stuff. So let them enjoy their stuff. But I picked this up because it has the amazing Sigourney Weaver on it. And if I could ever meet her at a con, I don't think I would get this autographed. I would probably get something with aliens autographed, but still, I would at least think about this. All right, we're coming towards the end. So here we have the last few books. We have Superman. This is issue number 38. This is cover A by Dan Mora. And I have really enjoyed this story ever since Superboy Prime showed up and the end of DCKO. Superman has disappeared. If you're spoilers, I know it's a little late, but we're 3 issues out. So I'm pretty sure if you wanted to know, you probably read it. And if you didn't, then I'm sorry. But Superboy Prime is here. He is taking over for Superman. I like many people, wasn't too happy when I heard that Superboy Prime was going to be coming. But I would tell you, in issue 1, he almost had me completely on his side. And by issue 2, I was all in. I am ready for Superboy Prime to be here for a while. Before I was like, okay, well, we got to read this before Superman comes back. No, I'm really enjoying this story with Superboy Prime. And hopefully, I know it sounds bad, but hopefully Superman doesn't come back anytime soon so we can get some really great stories with Superboy Prime. Or if Superman does end up coming back soon, hopefully we get maybe a spinoff or some stories with Superboy Prime on his own, because I have really enjoyed him in this series. So much, though, that this is probably going to be the 2nd or 3rd book I read this week. So really happy to have picked this one up. And then I also picked up Cyan Tormey variant. I really love this. So this reminds me of those Saturday Evening Post covers that came out back in the day. Not that I ever read them. I'm not that old, but I do remember seeing a lot of the artwork from them. And then I also picked up this cover of Lois Lane. This cover was done by W. Scott Forbes. A really nice cover. She is a slave to her work as she is just tied up doing her work, can't escape it. A really fantastic cover. And again, I'm really loving Superman ever since Superboy Prime took over. So if you're not reading it, go give it a read. I'll tell you what, just read the first issue when Superboy Prime shows up, which I want to say is issue number 36, because I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd book with him in it. So go pick up issue number 36, give it a read. If you don't like it, then you're probably not going to like it, so you can drop it. But if you do, I feel like issue number 2 is even better than his 2nd appearance which is issue 37 is even better than his first one. So give it a read. I really enjoyed it. I'm really happy that Bruce made me read this, because it's not something I was probably planning on reading, and I'm really happy I am reading it. So here we have a really interesting cover by Leslie Lyrics Lee. We have Vampirella Armageddon, issue number 11. This is cover B, as I said, by Leslie Lyrics Lee. But I feel like Leslie has been doing some amazing artwork. She has been stepping out of her comfort zone and doing some really interesting covers. And this is a gorgeous cover. I wasn't planning on picking up a lot of Vampirellas specifically just for the covers. But when I saw this one, I really didn't want to get it, but the cover just got me so much, I went ahead and grabbed it, because that is just a beautiful cover by Lyrics Lee right here. All right, and the final 3 books I have for my new comic book day haul, we have the 2nd issue of Zatanna. So this is cover B by David Talaski. A really great cover. I love how these dice butterfly look like they're just glowing all around her. Really great job right here by David Talaski. I also picked up cover C by Gillian March. It's a nice Zatanna cover. It's our classic looking Zatanna. It's a nice cover. I really like it, but I really love cover D. This, of course, is done by Adam Hughes. I love the characters and the character in the background who's playing right there. That is just an interesting one. Looks like we have Death right here on the trumpet. A really great cover. The Zatanna, of course, is on the banjo. A really fun Zatanna cover. You know, it's hard to go wrong with an Adam Hughes cover, especially when he's doing Zatanna. And that is it. That's my last book. I did read issue number 1 of this. I didn't hate it. It wasn't a fantastic read, but it wasn't a bad read. And I've told y'all, you know, numerous times, if number 1 isn't fantastic, but it's okay, I will always give issue number 2 a read, because you never know. You know, sometimes issue number 1 they're just trying to get so much information out that maybe they really don't have time to get into the story. And issue number 2 is where you really know if it's going to be good or not. So here's issue number 2. I'm going to give it a read, and hopefully it does pick up. Otherwise, this is probably just going to be a bunch of cover buys for me. But anyways, this is the last book. I hope you enjoyed my new Comic Book Day haul. It was a pretty big haul this week, and I hope you were able to pick up everything you were looking for. Go pick up Superman, read issues 36, 37, and then 38, which just came out today. It's been really fun with Superboy Prime. I did not expect it to be, but I've really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to reading Exquisite Corpses number 13. We're at the final issue. I will definitely be reading that. I will give Club Nephilim a read just to see what it's about. It's a one shot, I believe. So, you know, it's not too much, you know, to dig into. And let me know what y'all thought. Leave me some comments if you think there's a book I should have picked up for this week. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.